Friends, faithful partners, and leaders, we stand at a divine crossroads. Throughout history, whenever God was about to move in a massive way, He raised up people of extraordinary vision to open the way. Think of Esther, called for such a time as this to step into a moment of national crisis. Think of Nehemiah, who looked at broken walls and realized that rebuilding wasn't just a physical project. It was a spiritual duty to protect a generation. Today, I must ask each of us a probing question. Are we merely watching history unfold, or are we actively building the spiritual infrastructure for the harvest of our time? Look across the earth right now, throughout the 1040 window, across Southeast Asia, the island nations of Indonesia, and the vast continent of Africa. Hundreds of millions of young people live entirely inside a digital world, searching for truth, hope, and meaning. Jesus looked at the crowds and said in Matthew chapter 9, verses 37 and 38, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest field." God has handed us unprecedented tools, a multi-application digital network, and cutting-edge AI video technologies, allowing us to deploy digital laborers directly into millions of hands and hearts simultaneously. But technology without the Spirit is just noise. We are embedding the living Word into every algorithm and every app. Jesus issued a warning that cuts through all human ambition in Mark chapter 8, verse 36. "For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul?" If we apply that to our stewardship, we must ask ourselves, what value is wealth, position, or resources if we do not leverage them to save souls from darkness? When we stand before the Lord, will we be able to say we poured everything into what mattered most to his heart? Consider Joseph in Egypt. God gave him a vision of what was coming, not so he could store up wealth for himself, but so he could preserve life for whole nations during a time of global famine. We are in a spiritual famine, and God has given us the digital storehouses to feed millions with the bread of life. Jesus declared in Luke chapter 12, verse 48, "Everyone to whom much was given, of him much will be required." God has blessed our partners, donors, and leaders with influence, wisdom, and capacity. This is not a time for passive giving. This is a time for radical kingdom investment. We are building a multi-app ecosystem, detached from traditional constraints, and immediately expanding our team with specialized AI video creation technicians to scale our outreach tenfold. If not us, then who? And if not now, then when? Your generosity today isn't funding an organization. It is placing the gospel directly into the hands of a seeker in Cairo, a teenager in Jakarta, and a family in sub-Saharan Africa who may never hear it any other way. Let us cover this moment in deep prayer. May the Holy Spirit touch your heart right where you are, stirring a holy passion to join us as co-architects of this harvest. Step out in faith with us today. Be bold, be generous, and let us build a legacy that echoes throughout eternity. Thank you for your partnership, your prayers, and your courage. May the Lord bless you abundantly as you stand with us.